Welcome to ASD Shine Bright. This is the podcast where we highlight all the awesome things going on in the Anchorage School District. I'm Corey Young, and I'm here at Dimond High School, home of the Lynx, and I'm here at the Division I ASA 2024 Football Championship Lynx players and coach, Brian Yim. Right here, as you saw with the shot, is the trophy. This is the traveling trophy, and it's in the hands of the Lynx. They had an undefeated season. What was your record, Coach?
11-0.
11-0, that's amazing. Pretty much went through everybody. I had to beat a couple teams twice.
And won a game in California, too.
And won a game in California. I love it. And this is the first time you guys have won a championship since?
2001,
oh, wow.
I think, 2000.
That's big. Probably before you guys were even born. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, well before. That's awesome. So I'm going to start off with you, Coach Yim. Coach Yim has a great resume. He won a state championship in 2002.
2003.
2003, I'm sorry.
Yep.
With East High School, and then was part of the staff and service as well.
Service in 2008.
And now as a coach, you got your first one. How does it feel?
It feels great. Still waiting to see what. Honestly, it feels the same. I feel great. It's been amazing. But I mean, it's been back to work right away and getting everything organized and banquets and all that other stuff. And there's just so much that went into the season, and so tying it all up is still happening. And so we'll see. Eventually, it'll hit me, and I'm sure it'll be great.
It's exciting times. When you talked about all the work, a lot of people don't realize as a head coach, it's more than just the X and O's. Obviously, you're there for the players and the love of the sport, but there's a lot of stuff you have to do on the back end, right? Like administrative type stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I still got like $20,000 worth of gear out that I got to chase down. So, that's a big deal. That's a big part of what has made us successful here is being able to keep track of all that and not having to fight that uphill battle. So getting gear back in is going to be huge. Just getting the guys all gathered, and we had a little celebration of that for them last Friday, and it's crazy that championship game was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It feels like a long time ago, and it feels, also feels like I'm ready to go again.
Yeah,
like we're ready to keep going. So
I love it. I was there at that game. It was cold. It was out in Colony in the valley in Palmer. It's always cold and windy, especially in October. And in order to win a state championship, you guys will know this, especially in Alaska, you have to be able to endure cold. Like, it's pretty nice in August, right, for the most part, but then the state champion usually has to battle some type of cold. So I'll start off with Josiah, since the mic's right next to you. Tell me, you're a senior, and the position you played, and tell me, what were some of the things that you faced, in terms of adversity of going against really good teams in our state and having to, prepare each game and each day, to win?
So this season I played tight end / receiver, and on the defensive side I played linebacker, mainly middle linebacker. I would say the biggest challenges we fought was staying focused. Like what Yim was saying, we beat a team in California. Like most teams in Alaska who win don't have the privilege of saying that they also beat a team out of state, because I know the stigmatism around that. For Alaska, even players are like, oh yeah, any team down there, they could probably easily beat a team up here. Well, we did it, but that required lots of focus. We needed to stay honed in on a unified goal. Many of us have our own desires on what we want. My personal desire was, from the start of the season when I first played as a freshman all the way up to now as a senior, was winning a state championship, but also doing it for more of a reason, just myself. But I would say focus is what it required, because we faced many obstacles, like you said. Playing West was not an easy deal. They had an excellent running back, very well coached team, and they're known for winning. So I know a lot of people over there too. So knowing that we needed to stay focused in order to beat a team like West was really crucial. And then playing other teams, what was the worst weathered game that we played? I know I'll go back to California because that's what I'm thinking of. It was a lot warmer. When we first were there, everybody was sweating up a storm. Like, we were like, oh my gosh. I mean, it wasn't terribly hot because it was California, but still trying to get used to that, within being there for I think we slept one night, and they're like, all right guys, let's play a game in this heat. And thankfully it was a night game, but yeah.
That's good. Caden Peely, You're the quarterback. You were the MVP of this was the entire state of the conference.
Offensive player of the state offensive player of the year, Max Preps player of the year, conference player of the year.
Conference player of the year.
Offensively.
Yeah, talk about that. I mean, obviously, there's people that pretty much you had a target on your back. Yeah. People want to take you out whenever you're the number one person. That's always how it goes, but that's not a bad thing. How did you face that, but also to make sure that your team is involved? Because obviously in a football game, on a football team, you need more than one person to win.
Yeah, my teammates did a great job of helping me out, from my receivers, doing a great job catching the balls. And like you said, this cold weather, it could be really hard. So, yeah, and like Josiah said, staying focused, and I'm just very privileged to have the opportunity to be all those words I got this year.
Humble guy. Full disclosure, I actually went to high school with his dad, which I think is awesome because you have an awesome family from your mom and your sister and then your brother. How did that play into a factor in terms of like the advice that you were given? Obviously you have talent, your team has talent, you guys are good enough, but in terms of the mental part of it, to get past that adversity of the pressure of winning it all.
Yeah, my siblings they got some big shoes to fill. So, yeah, just doing my best to fulfill all that and just keep all the negative thoughts, all the talk, and everybody's just keeping that out the way and just focus on my main goal.
I like that. We'll go back to Josiah. Tell me a little bit. Like we'll talk championship game, 14-7. It was close. It went down almost to the last second. It's not necessarily like they would have won, but they were in position to try to tie. And you guys will see some of the highlights as we're talking about this. So I apologize for those that are listening audio, but we'll have to describe it. What were some of the feelings? Because there is the pressure of being undefeated, right? And then there's the schools that are just trying to take you out just to say we beat you. And it is hard to beat teams more than once, right? Like you see them in conference play, and then you have to see them again in a championship where it's like all the marbles. I remember seeing last year when West played South. South kind of surprised people, made it to the championship game, and they held their own for at least a half. It was pretty interesting. So what were your thoughts, as you were playing that game and, battling people like you said, on the other side?
So prior to the game, after we played each team in the playoffs, when we first played them during the season, I kept a mental record of what happened, like how truly close that game was. I know offense wins games, defense wins championships, as it showed, and that was a team effort. But I know that when we first played them, there was a couple plays that definitely could have changed the trajectory of the game. Had some calls going their way. Who knows? Maybe we could be in a different spot talking here. But playing them again, we need to make sure that we were all not just locked in, but like refined in a sense. Like, because we're diamonds, right? We got to be refined. We got to be flawless. And so making sure that every side of the ball, like offensively, we were crisp. Obviously it was cold, so it was really hard to hold the ball a lot of the times. But nonetheless, we were still, despite what happened, still focused in on the next play that we had, the next opportunity that we had. And playing a team like West, every opportunity meant something. So that means we couldn't waste anything. Even if something didn't go our way, a call didn't go our way, we still needed to make the most of it. Before Kane made that amazing play, throw to Carter Woodhead, number 21, there was a few plays before that could have gone terribly, right? And so me keeping that in mind, every single time playing the sport, that something will always go wrong, no matter how much preparation you do. So making sure that we make the most of every opportunity was something that was super duper important, and I kept in the back of my head that during that entire game. That last final defensive stand was probably one of the most stressful parts of my life. In fact, I did a haunted house later this week, and I wasn't scared whatsoever because I think I had put my body through enough stress that week, and that moment alone, my heart was beating the fastest it's ever beat in my life, because that either meant that we won or that it was all for nothing. That is what was going through my head at the time.
That's good. Coach Jim, what were your thoughts? What was the strategy, for the championship game, but also overall, because you guys have overcame obstacles. Haven't won since 2001, but the team Dimond has been kind of up and down. Not as consistent as some of these other schools, but you guys are back, and obviously people are like, are you for real? And how do you maintain that your players on all levels are still maintaining that excellence of trying to make themselves better each game?
We had all the normal ups and downs that every team has during the season. While we didn't have them during game times, we didn't have to experience what losing was like. There are definitely practices this year where, it felt like it. And, the boys are able to recover. We bounced back and really put together a solid, I'd say, month and a half or so. We were focused up until California, played that great game, came back and kind of tried to walk through stuff and didn't really take it as serious. And then we were able to beat West, and then we started to pick it up again and went on just a nice run. They were focused, they were there, they put in the work, and steadily improved each week. Getting into that championship game, the experience over there at that staff with Coach Garcia and Coach Davis and Coach Devin on the defensive side. Those guys are they've been doing it, and they're good at it, and they made the adjustments. And but it also got to the point, what was our strengths and what we were doing, and we weren't going to try and change everything up and blow things up. We knew what we were, we knew what we had to do, and we just had to execute. And while we didn't score in that second half, we were able to move the ball, we were able to control it for the most part. A couple turnovers here and there. Going into it, that last couple drives, I honestly wasn't scared. I felt confident. Our defense has been locked in all year. We've given up the easy stuff. That was one of the things. It's something that we've done it's just kind of the way the system's built. We'll give up a couple 3-yard hitches and 6-yard outs and whatever. But when you have to try and push it on us, or you get into the red zone where everything's tight, we've shut teams down all year. And so I was excited. And at that point, obviously anything can happen. West had scored on Juneau on the last minute on the 4th down play. They had the ability to obviously to go up there and take a lead or tie it. But I had confidence in my boys. D-line had been playing great. The DBs were great and all over the place. I knew they were tired. You can see it. We'd push them. We'd wore them down, and it was just a great game.
That's good. So like a bend, not break kind of philosophy.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it was. And it forces teams to have to be perfect in the red zone, and it's tough when we get over there. And with the athletes that we have and the aggression and physicality that we play with, it's tough to punch it in there.
Awesome. So this question's for all of you guys. What does the future look like? I know you guys, you're a junior, Caden, you're a senior. Coach, obviously, you plan to coach for another 20 years?
We'll see. We'll see how that works out. I'm getting married next summer, so we'll see how long things go after that. But I love it. I've been coaching. I started coaching after I graduated high school in 2006, and a couple years off here or there to get my master's degree. But other than that, I got like 18, 19 years in, and we'll see how much longer.
You're not even that old. What are you talking about?
Yeah. It feels like it, man. Especially during the season, there are days that after those first 3-4 weeks of the season, it starts to grind, especially when school starts. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the group we got coming back. A lot of the boys are coming back. A lot of guys who've got positive experience in minutes this year. I'm excited for the new challenges. Whatever ends up happening, whoever's out there, we're gonna have to adjust and get every team's best games and. It's exciting considering where we've been the last 6-7 years to be to going into where we're at right now.
I love it. Josiah?
We had a presentation for our entire school for us to recognize that this is the first time we've won in 23 years. My ultimate goal and my desire for this team, for this school, is to recognize us not as a girls' sports school. We are excellent at sports, but most of the time they're not recognized as much as they should be. For football, I want us to be recognized like that. We need the respect. It starts with the student body, and we gained it this year, but need it among everyone else. And that starts with us, the players, making sure that we're focused, locked in, not just a certain time of the year, but playing in different sports, doing community stuff, being involved in our school. We set an example to everyone else down so that we all get locked in and focused in. That way we don't just win one or 2 years, and then we have a 23-year drought. I want to be able to win, like, be another squad like West, win in, like, a 3-year window at the very most. That's my desire.
Love it. Caden?
Yeah, so football-wise, I think our future's looking pretty bright. You know, we got a lot of class of 2026 is a great class. We have some pretty great athletes, and even our JVC team, we got some good athletes down there too. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting watching them grow up and getting coached by these guys. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, you still have the mic. Man of a few words, very humble. I like it. You guys have all been excellent. I love this. What would your advice be out there? Not necessarily to the Anchorage teams, but because we have people that watch from all over. You know, like, how do you persevere? Like, what are some of the things that if you were giving somebody a 30-second speech on what would it take to put in the work? Because I remember one of the clips that I captured of you guys. I ran up on you guys as you were celebrating, and when you're celebrating, people have no idea what they're saying. But you guys were like, we put in the work, we put in the work. This is good, we deserve this. And you did, you win the championship. But what would you say about putting in the work, those people?
Yeah, it's just as simple as that. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And so I think that's what we did this year. Just, you know, coming back from those hard weeks of practices and all those slumps, and yeah, coming out and being able to win every week. So
that's awesome. So that's all we have. Thank you guys for joining me, Coach Jim, Josiah, and Caden. We're here at Dimond High School, home of the Lynx, the champions. I'll pass it over to you because you guys are the champions. You guys deserve this. We got to get them their plaque. So also, what's happening here? Get them their plaque. We're going to tag them on this as well. But as you see here, so I just want to say thank you guys for watching ASD Shine Bright, the podcast. Please watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you see it. Until next time.
Shine bright like a diamond. I wanted to say that. I saw that. I was like, that's perfect.